Why does he only know bad words? I mean, think about it and you will understand.
Hungary, the land of groundbreaking achievements, innovative inventions,
Beer pipe.
delicious food, the world's most luxurious mackies, disciplined hard workers, convenient public pools, also known as fish tanks in the local pet shop, one of the most abysmal financial policies in Europe.
Hungarian government officials coincidentally receiving a 33% pay rise after implementing another 300% tax increase on small businesses. Hungary's Prime Minister Viktor Orban, when asked if he's going to use EU loans to improve his country slightly or just build another $12 million stadium for the most terrible amateur local football.
Europe's lowest IQ public transport ticketing system.
In Budapest, you literally just stamp in and out of a stub like you're a 1920s steelworker, least old-fashioned Hungarian governmental
Europe's
policy.
cutest metro line, suspiciously close ties to China. Hungary is also the land of paprika. They use this spice in literally everything. I wouldn't be surprised if the parliament building's roof was just glued on paprika. Yeah, they really make a big deal about the fucking paprika here. That damn pepper is plastered all over the place. And alongside that, Hungary has produced many notable celebrities. Houdini, the Ramones, this dude, even Hank.
No way. Magyar Milan? Why amına?
I've been to Budapest twice in the last 2 years. I'm saying that like there's anywhere else to go in Hungary. There's absolutely not. Unless, of course, you go to Transylvania. I'll explain that later. Anyway, Budapest.
Vape.
Vape.
Vape.
Vape.
Vape.
Vape.
Vape.
Anyway, Budapest is actually historically two cities, Buda and Pest, with Buda having the famous old landmarks, some of which are honestly phenomenal. I mean, just look at that roof, look at that castle, look at that bastion, look at that old town, look at those 4 brain-dead Brits on a lad's holiday getting scammed into paying 50,000 foreign for a picture of him holding an owl. And whilst most of Buda is super hilly and suburban, Pest is way more flat, is where most people live, and has the recognisable, famous, imposing Budapest architecture. Before the 18th century, Pest was just a tiny enclave. Hardly anyone lived there since it didn't benefit from the natural height or river defense that made Buda the geographically perfect city, being inhabited even before 1 AD by the Celts. In the 10th century, a bunch of Siberians show up out of nowhere and mix with the local population till they're white passing, aka Magyars. This ethnic group forms 84% of Hungary's population today. Then over time, due to mass rural Jewish and general migration from the surrounding areas into the city, partly because of Austria-Hungary's initiative to modernize their
Austria-Hungary explained the benefits for farmers to move over into a luscious, clean, picturesque, plentiful, traditional farm and work in a carcinogenic steel factory in Pest. Hasan, please reaffirm that Magyars are Turks? No. I will never say that. They are traitors. Okay? No. Hungarians are not Turks. The one group of people that are certainly not Turks are Hungarians. They think they're better because, oh, we're Christian. Oh, look at us. We're so super Christian. It's like you look at the Balkans and it's like Turk, Turk, Turk. Oh, we're super Christian. Don't look at us. Turk, Turk, Christian Turk in the form of Serbs. And then you have Croats, which are also not Turks. Okay? Just remember that. These are the rules. Serbians, also Turkic, technically, even though not Muslim, but still Turkish. Okay? Albanians, the most Turk. No one is more Turkish. I would say almost as Turkish as the Turks themselves. Everyone is Turkish, not Hungarians and not Croatians. Remember that.
economy. By the year 1900, Budapest was the 8th
Us Serbs destroyed your empire being goat farmers? Yeah, sure.
largest city in Europe, and the flatlands of Pest provided these newcomers with the perfect location for a bustling, modern, well-organized but grimy city. Then both sides grew until it was
Are Chinese Turkish? No. Built a whole ass wall to not be Turkish. Even though there are Turkic Chinese, obviously, like the Uyghurs. That's a whole different can of worms. But definitely not Turkish in general. Han Chinese, not Turkish. Okay? Built a whole ass wall, baby. Straight up. They were like, oh, these Turks, don't fuck with them. Build a goddamn wall. Build the wall. That's what they said.
pointless to see them as two separate cities, and they were officially unified in 1973. Now, from our time in Pest, I've come across some notable things about the place. For example, the scams. The scams are everywhere in Budapest. The ATMs, the 20 euro Rostis.
Are Somalis Turkish? That wasn't the case. Somalia increasingly becoming Turkish. By the way, that's not even a joke. That's literally true, though. Like, actually, Turkey and Somalia are aligned heavily. Something to remember. Literally, like half of the. There's a lot of. That's just a separate point. That's a more modern situation.
The classic club scam, the public transport ticket scams, the carcinogenic gypsy geek bars. I mean, the city taxis in Budapest are literally a fucking mafia that can get away with robbing and beating up naive or drunk tourists due to them having such a monopoly, being so powerful and having so much influence over the government. I mean, they literally made the Hungarian government ban Uber to make sure they still had a taxi monopoly. Thankfully, though,
I do feel like the banning of Uber to maintain a taxi monopoly is pretty prominent in Europe, though. Like in a lot of places. Yeah, see, tam Türkler işte İstanbul taksicileri de aynı Uber'i döverek banladılar. Yeah, this happened in Turkey as well.
there is an option if you want to get around Hungary without being scammed out of all your hard-earned cash. Bolt, it's like a poor man's Uber, and you literally have to use this app if you don't want to be ripped off like a certain Filipino dude might have been.
So I arrive in Budapest, the brokest I've ever been in my life, thinking, oh, I'm in a cheap country now. Cheap cigarettes, cheap beer, things are gonna be looking up. I go to the taxi rink, I go to the first taxi I see, I hop in. I don't know how foreign conversion works, so I just see this meter tick up 1,000 by 1,000 while I'm sitting in the back seat thinking, oh man, I got 20 minutes until I get to my fucking destination. And I don't know how much this money is. I still got it in the back of my mind. Oh, it must be cheap. Inshallah, it's cheap.
The best way you can avoid most scams in Budapest is by learning a few Hungarian words. Unfortunately, Hungarian is considered to be the hardest European language to learn and one of the hardest languages to learn in the world. I mean, they literally have a 44-letter long word that roughly translates to "for your continued."
Is this a face reveal? Like, is this a subtle face reveal? What's going on? That's weird. Immersion ruined. What the fuck?
Behavior as if you could not be desecrated. Thankfully, though, I have a hack to help you learn even one of the world's hardest languages, the online language learning platform.
I did not. No, it's an ad. I did not expect him to look like that. He revealed it long ago. I did not expect him to look so baby faced.
italki. italki is an
because he sounds like such a fucking free head, yeah. That it's like you just don't expect it. I don't know. He said she's Swedish so many times.
effective online language learning platform where you can take personalized one-on-one lessons with native speaking teachers literally anytime, anywhere. The main problem I had with my French lessons back in school is that we focused on learning grammar and writing perfectly, which is important. However, it can be kind of frustrating when you know how to spell boulangerie, but you can't understand or say any of the essential phrases that would actually come in handy. On italki, however, because it's just you and the teacher, you really focus on your speaking and listening skills as well as increasing your confidence through live interactions. With over 30,000 teachers to choose from, it can be a little overwhelming, but italki has made it easy to filter through and find the right teacher for you. Search by lesson, category, or even where the teacher's from. The best thing about italki,
YouTube requires you to show your face to get monetized. First of all, I don't believe that. They're like real life lore. I don't think it's ever shown their face.
talkie is that you can pay for each lesson individually. There's no subscriptions, no commitments, and lessons are priced only from $5. You also get 3 trial lessons which are refundable if you aren't satisfied with the lesson. I wanted to show you a bit of my super
I've learned
useful
2 words in
Hungarian
Turkish.
lesson with a letter. We focused on pronouncing different letters.
Ö and Ö. Is that just the length?
Yeah. So with the dog, this is short.
Differentiating between tenses
Everything that ends with OK would be this first person.
and how to say phrases informally.
So that's the more informal version of thank you then.
Kisses and
Just like with slang.
So start your learning language journey now with the link below in the description, and don't forget to use the promo code GEOPOD. Get $5 credit when you sign up for your first class. This code is good for the first 50 users when you purchase $10 or more, so go quick, bro, go quick. Anyway, when we were in Hungary, this dude literally paid
10,000 Hungarian forint.
for a 15-minute taxi. And if you're thinking that amount of cash sounds just ridiculous and made up, it's not. It's just that Hungary has Europe's silliest currency. $1 is equivalent to 348 Hungarian forint, which leads me on to one of Hungary's less conventional tourist attractions. If you've got more than $2,872 in your savings account, you can go around telling everyone you're a millionaire. Super underrated reason to visit Hungary, in my opinion. But if you want a more conventional reason to visit this country, it's the food. I swear I'm not gonna say it, guys. I swear I'm not gonna.
Where are you from?
Hungary.
Hungary? I'm hungry.
I'm telling you though, Hungarian food might not look like much, but goulash, 10 out of 10. Chicken paprikash, 10 out of 10. Langosh, 10 out of 10. Torchni, 10 out of 10. Bro, they even do other people's cuisine well.
Bro, I don't even think I've ever had Hungarian food in my life, dog. That's crazy. Now that I think about it. And I've even had Polish food, you know what I mean? Which is, there's some good.
Budapest, they possibly have the best fast food establishment I've ever indulged in. Pizza Meat. They basically got like 7 different types of thin, crispy New York style pizza. You get one big slice for £2. The process takes like 30 seconds. They're open till fucking 5 AM. There's always one down the street, and they play the hardest fucking gabba hardstyle techno type music in there too.
What's going on in this pizza
The
spot?
food in Hungary is so good. Even my Georgian friend Gatsu thought it was amazing. And Georgians are literally used to the best food God has ever created.
Hungarian food is so fucking good. And this is coming from a Georgian, okay? Bro, I remember one time I ate fish and chips in Malta, and then I just gave up on European food. However, here's the thing. Hungarians are not European. Yeah, they're white, but when they migrated from the Urals, they brought some good fucking food with them, right? Yo, the first time I tried goulash, I was hungry too, that's the thing. Like, my body went into shock, bro. I ate all that shit. It is the best food in Europe. I don't want to hear anything about like Greek food. I don't want to hear anything about Italian food. Hungarian food is where it's at. And so please, somebody open up a Hungarian restaurant in Tbilisi, bro, because I miss it. If you have a Hungarian restaurant in your city, go and eat there or take a baddie to eat with you.
You already know if the Georgian says the food's banging, it's gonna be fucking solid. I mean, look, this Georgian literally ate a $120,000 banana, okay? They really value their food, I'm telling you. Hungary's also got this drink called Unicum. It tastes how it looks, like fucking death. However, I can't lie, this shit is effective.
How it feel to be off that
Still gotta look
Unicum?
out for tourist traps in the cuisine field though, or you might get viciously scammed like a certain Filipino friend of mine might have been.
I go to this Christmas shop where they're selling all these fancy street foods. I'm thinking, yeah, let me try some Hungarian cuisine. I order this fucking potato slop. It was 20 quid. It was 20 quid by the end. Never trust a Hungarian. Never.
Also, you should make sure you don't eat anything dodgy in Hungary. You really want to avoid food poisoning or any other illnesses because the country's hospitals look like this. And the waiting times can literally be a year long. But this is the EU. How could the hospitals be so bad? Especially when the average Hungarian pays such sizable healthcare taxes. Well, mainly because this dude, Mr. Orban, would rather build football stadiums than have a slightly functioning public healthcare system. He has a bit of a problem with hyper-focusing on football and Chinese investment, which is kind of creating some tension with the EU, who he owes us just a small bit of money to. But hey, it's so worth it. I mean, just take a look at these state-of-the-art Chinese buses Budapest has been blessed with. They might occasionally erupt into raging balls of hellfire, all part of the old town experience, baby. Hey, who doesn't love a quick marshmallow roasting opportunity halfway up Castle Hill? Man, this dude is so in touch with his Asian roots.
Why do American shows like Viktor Orban so much? Because he's like anti-woke or something. I don't know. How are you between 25 to 135 billion as a whole ass country's GDP worth the difference? Yeah, he's like, it's pretty funny because he's like, Viktor Orban is a bit like Erdogan as well, an enigma in many ways. I spent half my life thinking I was only a little Hungarian and a lot of Italian, but then found out it was the opposite later on, doubly racist. Literally a racist who has spoken against racial mixing. Yeah, I mean, he's like very fashy, but then also, I mean, he's like a classic, he's so goddamn European. It's like an incredibly European feature to be like insanely fascist, but then also simultaneously just be like rely heavily on the European Union, I guess. But the part that he's like not very European on is that he's like ahead of the curve on being openly fascist. Because European social democrats and neoliberals in general will be, I don't know. I don't, it's like they have a much more polite way of being like insanely racist. He's just like so openly racist.
He's building Europe's first ever Chinese university, despite Budapest's
Macron's like that too. No, Macron is actually a perfect example of like European fascism on the neoliberal side. I would say Emmanuel Macron is Emmanuel Macron in the streets is like Justin Trudeau. Emmanuel Macron in the sheets is like Adolf Hitler. Okay. That's the whole point. I feel like, do you guys understand what I'm saying? Like on the streets, he's like, oh yeah, I'm not very racist. Yes, we must maybe take a look at the immigration. But then like behind closed doors, he's like, yeah, we have to kill Muslims. I don't know. I mean, I'm exaggerating, but he's just like a disgusting little freak. But in public, he really polites it up.
mayor protesting this by changing the campus's road names to Uyghur Martyrs Road, Free Hong Kong Road, Dalai Lama Road, for example. It's actually opening in 2024 because big Xi Jinping probably slid him a couple rare FIFA cards under the table or something.
Hungary is in 50 years' time expressing their unhappiness when they officially get annexed as Imperial China's western. I love this.
Yeah, Hungarian politicians are typically like clinically brain dead, weird, hypocritical old heads. I think this news headline should probably explain all you need to know.
Oh yeah, dude, classic. The anti-gay Hungarian politician has resigned after being caught by the police fleeing a 25-man orgy through a window.
But how can these obviously crazy dudes stay in power?
Oh, great example. Thank you. I mean, his government called Islam barbaric and said it cannot be compatible with French values. Thank you. Yes, that is exactly what I mean. Yeah. When a French person says it, they say it in a way where you're like, they're being quite polite about how unimaginably Islamophobic they are. See? And then you have Americans who I guess like he's not racist. He's trying to appease racist voters. It's literally the opposite. It's the other way around. Islamophobic, not racist. I don't understand what you're trying to say here. Emmanuel Macron is running the fucking American Democratic Party strategy that has been a demonstrable failure in the United States of America to a goddamn T by appeasing right-wing elements in France and losing out on the center, completely losing out on the left, and even losing the liberals to a certain degree. And the only thing you end up doing in that situation is like you're not able to combat the far right elements. You're not able to combat the far right elements that are growing in your country. You've just normalized their position by being like the supposedly sane liberal guy who pushed for said positions. That's it. Okay. Oh, yes. Making the burqa illegal, really just appeasement. Yeah. It's like, I already said this. This is happening in every European country. I've talked about this quite a bit, talked about it quite extensively. Le Pen is going to be the next leader, one hundo P. Macron isn't a fascist, just a standard French neoliberal with traditional French prejudices. Yes, so a fascist. Why is fascism so on the rise all over the world? Well, as the profit rates tend to decline, okay, and we look to squeeze out the what remains, oftentimes from the one, malleable component, labor, to try to endlessly increase profit margins. No matter what happens, you are inevitably going to have more economic instability, more economic volatility, and also, of course, the issues that arise from imperialism, which is also a necessity for the thing that I just mentioned, capitalist exploitation and its continuation as profit rates tend to decline. So then there's going to be a lot of reactionary instability paired up with the economic volatility. There's going to be a lot of reactionary attitudes that rise up. And then basically the neoliberals that have been in power in Europe for a very long time, in order to manage the current crisis that is that they're experiencing under capitalism, will turn to more and more fascist perspectives in an effort not to lose power. And they'll say that they're doing this to save face or to appease the right-wing votes and to appear as a bottleneck against an even more right-wing group from seizing power. Because, oh God, if they do, it'll be so much worse. Yeah, he just accepted publicly to validate the Great Replacement conspiracy theory, saying that the country needs to rearm itself demographically. Going to flee to Canada, I guess. Yeah, it's really funny thinking about that, especially because, like, yeah, no, he when he came to power, like, the American liberal media was like sucking his cock harder than his much older teacher wife was sucking his wee-wee when he was probably in an age inappropriate and social dynamic inappropriate relationship. They were just like, they were so on board. Like, they were like, this guy, the liberal savior, he's saving France. And then they did it again in the last election. Okay, why did you remind us of this? I mean, obviously, I'm going to remind you of that instead of the top of the hour ad break, right? They met each other when he was 14. It's normal for France. Yeah. Yeah, French elections always revolved around electing whoever faces one of the Le Pen. Macron was elected without any election promises / program, but at this point, there's virtually no difference between the two of them. And then most bloody mandate internally, both physically with the protests and economically with the gutting of social services. Yes. And then here's what will actually happen. Le Pen, who is a a more real racist that can appease or appeal to like the even further right wing elements that are now more galvanized, that now feel like their policies are normalized by the liberals, can come into power while simultaneously maintaining the position that like they are going to be a populist and actually bring about like some real change to France. They're going to implement some economic policies that are helpful to the real French. But the reality is they're not going to do that. They're just going to maintain the same order as they've done time and time again, as fascists have done time and time again historically. They'll come in and be like, no, guys, the nationalism stuff is whatever. We're socialists. We're socialists. We have national pride, and like we're gonna be the ones who actually fix the economy in the left wing direction. Don't worry. But then all they will do is further erode and continue the same capitalist stranglehold on the economy while simultaneously really cranking the racism dial a lot more. I love how libs are so confused by your take whenever you bring up instead of healthcare, we get to bomb random people in other countries when they're like, we want both. But also, if you mention free healthcare, they'll say it's unaffordable and we will never, ever question the price of dollars and lives in war. Yes. Efendim. Yeah, I'm almost done. I'm running the top of the hour ad break, though.
The old rural population.
Sorry.
Peacefulness leaving Eastern Hungary. Do you think people will realize that fascism is bad on their own, or do you think something bad will have to happen for people to stop voting for them? Well, all I'm saying is in the absence of a left-wing force, like an ideological force that genuinely opposes capitalism, I don't know. Because, like, at least last time when this shit happened, there was, and I know a lot of people always say, like, oh, did you know about the Molotov-Ribbentrop Act? Shut the fuck up, dumbass liberals, okay? Who put together the greatest Nazi murder force of all time, okay? Listen, gotta give my man some credit, okay? That Georgian boy did it. He did the damn thing. He did. He did the damn thing, putting together one of the greatest fucking Nazi murder machines of all time. Okay, which Americans also participated in. That was pretty cool for America. Good job, America. Oh my God. Are you fucking joking? Please tell me. He's not. Oh, gate'i kapat sadece. Gate'i. Kapıyı kapamaya gerek yok. Gate'i kapat sadece. No. Stop. Anyway, yeah, all I'm saying is there's no class consciousness to combat the rise in fascism. How are we going to get through this? Yes, that is all I'm saying. You make up what happens. I know history does have a tendency to repeat itself, and unfortunately, I feel like this time around, neoliberalism has been such a perfect complementary fascist adjacent ideology that I don't know. It is completely eviscerated, completely gutted, completely neutered all matter of like genuine proletarian retort.
This rural population pretty much exists anywhere in Hungary that isn't Budapest. That's because it's low-key the only city in Hungary. Budapest has almost 2 million people, and the second biggest city, Debrecen, hardly even scrapes 200k. This is partly because quite a lot of the ethnically Hungarian regions aren't in Hungary. There are like 3 or 4 million Hungarians that live in the neighboring countries: Romania, Ukraine, Slovakia, Serbia, Croatia, Slovenia, Austria. I mean, Hungary within the Austro-Hungarian Empire was actually big as hell, up there with Poland, Italy, Britain. That was until they lost World War I, along with 2/3 of their territory. Damn, 1918 was a bad year for them guys, bro. And I don't really know too much about what it's
Bad year for a lot of people. It's just, you know, it happens. You know what I'm saying? Not a good time. Not a good time for a lot of guys. Okay. It was, yeah, no. No. Oh my God. I can't. Are these guys memeing when they say this? I can't tell if they're memeing. The Molotov-Ribbentrop Pact is literally the liberal equivalent of saying, I'll have you know, Abraham Lincoln was a Republican. Okay. It is literally the liberal version of saying, you know how conservatives say, excuse me, I can't believe you're saying the Republican Party is racist. Did you know that Abraham Lincoln was a Republican? You know what I mean? It's just the same principle. It's like, yeah, I feel like you just don't know anything about what happened after. Yeah. I think they're memeing. It's copy pasta. Yeah.
like in these areas because I've never been, but I got Living Ironically to explain it a little further, since he's literally the expert on this subject, being Hungarian Serbian living in Romania.
Trinon's main problem wasn't that 1/3 of the Hungarians suddenly woke up in a completely different country. Hell, it wasn't even that Hungary lost 70% of its territory to other countries that just randomly spawned into existence that day. Its main problem was that now, if you wanted to go from Romania into Hungary, the view suddenly changed from this into this. Shit, I'd be pissed off as well. Even though Hungary got sliced up worse than a birthday cake at a Mexican birthday party, the regions cut from the motherland still kept their Hungarian roots to a degree, despite the communist dictators' best efforts against that. For starters, throughout Transylvania you can still find so many Hungarian Gothic churches and castles, such as Szent Mihály Templom in Cluj, aka Kolozsvár, and Corvin Castle in Hunedoara, aka Vajdahunyad. Throughout the 16th century,
those castles bang for sure.
The Catholic Church was having an atheistic meltdown, which many historians today call the Reformation. Many Hungarians in particular were quick to adopt these new Christian beliefs, such as the famous teachings of John Calvin, that no matter what you do, God has already decided that you're going to hell. Transylvania in particular became a huge hotspot for the spread of Calvinism/Reformism, as the region came under partial control of the Ottomans, and they simply couldn't be bothered to deal with the issues of the dirty kafir. So as a result, the province became one of the most religiously diverse ones within historical Hungary, with hundreds of Hungarian churches of different denominations springing up throughout Transylvania. In other parts of the kingdom, such as Vojvodina, aka Vajdaság, and Krisana, aka Körösvidék, Hungarian Art Nouveau was the popular style to build in. Thus, the cities of Subotica, aka Szabadka, and Oradea, aka Nagyvárad, have such a distinctive look which makes them look as if they came out of some sort of fairy tale. Many Hungarians across the border accepted their fate and moved on with their lives and became functioning members of the new countries they found themselves in. Hell, they integrated so well, one even shot down an American plane during the Yugoslav wars. However, others such as the Székely, not so much. For those of you that don't know, the Székely are a group of Hungarians that live in the heart of Transylvania in the Carpathians. Their main personality trait is that despite being completely surrounded by Romanians and basically sitting in the center of Romania itself, they would rather be tortured by Vlad the Impaler himself than ever spout a single word of Romanian. They're also famous for always carrying a knife on themselves. People in London think they're hot shit for packing a blade. They've never met a Seike. When I first ever met my Seike father-in-law, do you want to know what he gave me as a gift? That's right, a $180 pocket knife. It is pretty sweet though. But yeah, Janos signing out.
The only thing I gotta say about Transylvania is they make these crisps. I tried them in a Transylvanian bar in Budapest, and oh my god, they're the best fucking thing ever, dude. I think about them every day. If someone wants to ship me some of these, yo, I would be so gassed. Anyway, in conclusion, Hungary is an interesting place. From what I've heard, you might want to give the top northeast bit a miss. This is really where you want to be. Personally, Budapest is one of my favorite cities ever, and as long as you can wiggle your way out of scams, you'll have a great time. Go around telling people you're a millionaire. Go eat some fucking paprika-based food. Go bonk the metro. Go look up at the roof porn this city provides. Best roofs in Europe, I think. Just whatever you do, don't end up getting monetarily pillaged like a certain Filipino.
Fucking disgusting.
Yo guys, so much blood, sweat and tears went into this video, I can't even explain. I went all the way to Hungary, then spent like a month editing this shit. My sleep schedule is absolutely obliterated right now. So hey man, I would deeply appreciate a little sub, a little like, a little comment even. More videos soon. Okay, peace.
Worst place to break down car. Struggle to ask for a mechanic, which is a little. No. Here, what's up?
Hey Hasan.
What?
Bozmig.
What does that mean? What did you just say? I gave it a lock, even though I have a strict no locking eyebrow policy. Right? Fucking hell. I don't know what Murat said. What did he say? Oh, no. Why do you know Hungarian? It's the language of traitors, dog. Chill. I've already established. Means fuck me in Hungarian.